La da dee, la dee da, la da dee, la dee da. Yep. Oh, all right. Oh no, we've got the Rinchy thing. Oh, I know what that means. It's time for our first service. Yep. Okay. Well, that's interesting. Hmm. Oh, that's tasty. Yep. Oh, hello there. Well, what are you doing watching me? Look, I know I was supposed to be changing the oil, but this book, it's my favorite kind of book, the owner's manuals to these machines here. And I was just reading on how to do the service. We're at the 25-hour mark. Well, really 29 hours, but we're supposed to do the break-in service. And I was just reading in this, book here, 25 hours. We're going to inspect, the brake pad wear. Yep. Engine oil, we're going to change it and change the filter. Sure. Front gear case fluid, we're going to change that. Fuel system, it says inspect, cycle key to pressurized fuel pump, check lines and fittings for leaks and abrasion. Sure, we'll do that. And then finally, transmission oil, it says break-in oil level check. Now, instead of just checking it, I think we're just going to go on and, replace on that. Sure. Well, according to, the owner's manual here, it says engine oil, yep, PS4 5-weight 50 4-cycle oil, 2 quarts. So we have that here. We actually have 4 because if you remember, 2 quads. Brake fluid, DOT4 brake fluid. Well, we're not going to get into the brake fluid today. Transmission oil, transmission oil. 32 ounce, which is roughly a quart. Here you go. And demand drive, fluid. That's for the front gear case there, and 9 ounces. Yep. And it takes an oil filter. You'll notice I went with the Tusk oil filter, and well, I like to save a little money, and we're already past the manufacturer's warranty on these things, and that would be the only reason to use the factory Polaris filter. The Tusk filters, I've been using them for a long time. Never cut one open. If anybody out there, that guy or that dude over there, if you've cut them open and seen what's inside, let me know. But I've never had a problem with these filters, and they're about half the price, maybe less than a Polaris filter. But what's neat though is if you go to the website, the Rocky Mountain, atvncsquared.com, you get a kit, and in each kit is 2 quarts of oil, a filter, and one of their handy paper funnels, which I've never used a paper funnel, but we'll give it a try. But you also get one of the washers for the engine oil drain plug, which sometimes the Polaris kits don't even come with that. So we're going to give it a try. We're going to give it a go. We're going to do a little bit more than checking on the oil. We're going to pull some plastic off that you normally don't have to pull off, and probably look at the drive belts. Some people have asked about water getting in there. Now we don't ride in the mud, but we'll have a look and see what that looks like. And then we're going to pull all the wheels off, check the suspension, for loose bolts. If you've seen the other videos on, like the older 500 and at some point the older 400 and the Hawkeye, we have the bolts that tend to shear off and come loose and cause problems. So we're just going to check on all those, make sure that they're all good. But anyway, well, let's get into it. Let's get one of them over and get them up in the air and I guess get started. Sure. Normally, to do the service, the oil, the transmission fluid, you don't have to take the tires off, but we're going to go ahead and do that so we can do a really good inspection and also give us good access to the clutch cover. So we're just going to go ahead and, pop the wheels right on off. By the way, what I'm using here, this is Harbor Freight's, they're new. They're brushless ultra torque, the big gun here. First time using it. So just a reminder, not sponsored by them. They didn't send it to me for free. I went ahead and bought this. But this is my first time using it, and we'll see how it does. So far, it's packs the punch. Sure. Yep. Clearly, that's no trouble for this thing. And we'll just kind of plop that over there. It's also got some kind of stop feature, apparently, so when it breaks it loose, it just kind of shuts it down. That's neat. Look, I haven't used this on anything heavy duty yet, of course, like the Excursion or the big trailer over there, but so far, pretty good tool. Probably way more than I need for taking off the wheels on a quad or, ATV, four-wheeler. I don't know where you're from. What do you call it? Is it a quad to you? Do you call it an ATV? Is it a four-wheeler? I don't know, but again, California, we say quad. Sure. All right, we're just going to go around the other side and pop those wheels off. Probably don't need to see the other side. You've already seen this side. We're going to go ahead and, get the seat off. And, if you've never taken a seat off one of these, it's pretty complicated. You grab the back of the seat and you lift, and then it pops out of the thing, and then you just kind of take it off. It's it's a lot of steps and it's complicated, I know, but we managed to do that okay. So normally doing the oil, to fill it, you just pop this little guy off. Well, there we go. Pop this little cover off, and if you look somewhere in there, oh, there it is. If you look somewhere in there, oh, fail. If you look somewhere in there, right about, there, that's your engine dipstick and fill. Since we're going to do a bit of a bigger inspection, we're just going to go ahead and take off all the side panels and have real good access to things. Now, getting these body clips off, if you don't have the right tool, if you're just using screwdriver or pliers, it can be challenging. This is a tool specifically made to do that, and I got this at the Harbor Freight. It's a Pittsburgh flavor. But Polaris, and I'm going to use it on the first one in their toolkit, these pliers they give, which are multifunction. You've got, a couple of screwdriver ends. They do act as pliers. They've also got this little notch here. I don't know if y'all can see that, but that notch is meant for pulling these off. So we're going to go ahead and give these a try. Why not? I believe you just want to stick it on the... Oh, that works. Look, good job, Polaris. I know you don't always get a lot of praise from people, but good job. That was pretty good. Yep. And then this thing just kind of wiggles on out some way or another. So this side, you've got, two. You've got this panel here, and then you have this panel. I'll be honest, I don't really remember which one's supposed to go first. I think this panel. Let's take it off. What's the worst that can happen? Sure. Look, pretty good job there, Polaris. I'm impressed with the fact that you've thought to give us this tool that actually works to pull these plastic body rivets off without completely, and I mean completely, just destroying them. All right, a couple little clips here. Oh, well, maybe this one does need to come off first up here. Let's see if we can get these the rest of the way out. Well, I wonder if we spread this, can we get it? Oh, yes. Very good. Very good indeed. I still don't think that's going to want to come out now. Although, could be wrong. How did that? Oh, we got to put it back together. Maybe this goes first? I don't know. But let's go ahead and get these last two bits off because I do want to pull this cover off. Sure. There it goes. Go ahead and pull the whole rivet out. Oh, or just the whole panel. Okay. I think first we'll go ahead and do the normal service thing, get all the fluids changed, and then we'll do the other inspections. Well, there are some advantages, to leaving the quad on the ground on its tires when you go to drain the oil, and instead of putting it on a lift like that. And one of them is, draining the oil. Let me show you what I'm on about. First, it's hard to find something that's going to fit up in there under the drain hole. My big drain pan just is not going to fit there. So, we have to do that. And that's okay. I only expect to get half of it on the floor. That's probably okay. But let's have a look where the drain plug thing is. Oh. Sure. I'm going to lay down on the floor. So if you look under here, you see that oblong oval-shaped hole, and that thing right here, that is your oil drain. And it does take a 6mm, Allen size. So we're going to go ahead and open that thing up and drain it. Okay, we're going to go ahead and pop this loose. Now I've already opened the, on the top, where you put the oil, the dipstick place where you fill it. I've already opened that up, so this should flow quite nice. Okay, that's loose. Anybody ever see those stupid videos on, TikTok or the, Instabook or Facegram, where they're getting oil drain plugs out of cars and they're trying to do it quick and not getting oil on themselves? Look, this is a tight spot. I'm going to get oil on the hand. Probably both quarts of oil.
We're going to stop right here for a second. Don't ever do this. You'll see later in the video why it's just not a good idea. Okay, back to the video.
Oh, geez, just like that. Yep. So before we go putting the drain plug back in, we're going to go ahead and replace this washer. These washers are meant to crush, and so they create a good seal. And if you reuse them, I'm not saying it's going to leak, but it very well, probably might leak. Just thread that guy back. Well, my gloves are slippery. There we go. There we go. Now there is a torque specification on this, and it says 12. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Try to get as much of this oil off that as I can. Okay, we've got our torque wrench set to 12 foot-pounds. Oh. That must be it already. There we go. Now we got to do the filter. Let's bring you around to where that dude is. The filter is right there, and there's some drain holes, but I just found reason 37 why you should do this with the wheels on and sitting on the ground, and that's because my lift is sitting right under the drain holes. I'm not really sure what we're going to do there. So what I think we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and move on. Skip that for now. We'll probably forget. Nah, we'll get it. But we'll move on and get everything back together, put the wheels on, put on the floor, then do the oil filter, then fill the oil. Sounds like a plan. So we're going to move on to the front drive unit and change that fluid. So you can see the drain plug, here, and it takes, that's an 8mm Allen. That takes, there. Mm-hmm. 8mm now. Yes. Well, I think I see why they want you to change it. That stuff's kind of weird looking. Now this drain plug has a rubber O-ring on it, so we're just going to check on it and make sure it looks okay. Wipe off the metal shavings off the drain plug, because this does have a magnet. You can see the magnet there, but I've already cleaned it, so it wasn't dirty. It didn't have much on it. Before we put the plug back in, let's open the top end and make sure that it all gets to drain out. Okay, so we got to talk about something here, Polaris. The fill plug for this front drive, how are you supposed to get something on there? I was able to get it off, but let me show you. Well, you can see it's right there. Let me back up a little bit, and you can see it seems like it would be easy, right? But it's got an angle to it there, and so we used one of these, that has the ball end on it. Can you see it? Will it focus? No? Sure, there you go. It's got the ball end on it, so you get an angle, but the fit is so good that it doesn't want to go straight. So eventually, we had to just put this thing on there, tap it into the head of the plug so it wouldn't come loose and strip the head of the plug, and then we were able to break it loose. Now, we'll see how easy this thing goes back in, but for now, let's put the drain plug back in and go ahead and fill this, and then we'll figure out, what we're doing. All right, so here we have our demand drive fluid, and we have our demand drive fluid sucker 3000. We're going to go ahead and suck some fluid out of there and, put it in there. Now it says 9 ounces, and I've done the math on the Google thing, and it says it's 266 cc's. Well, this only goes to 200 and change, so it's going to take all of this and then some, but the owner's manual also says you just want to make sure it's full till it's to the threads there, so that's what we'll do. Look how clear the new fluid is, and what came out was kind of gray. I guess that's why they want you changing on it. All right, let's go ahead and pick this up. Stick it in there. And here we go. Oh, wait. Probably want to go kind of slow. See, it's already starting to want to come back out. I don't believe it because we went too fast. So it should easily take all of this, if not most of it. It is starting to spit some back out, but again, if you go too fast, it comes right back out. So you got to go slow. All right, so it does look like it's coming back out. Let's another angle on that there. Yeah, that's coming back out. Luckily, it drains right into a spot on the frame here that we can't get to, so it's just going to be a mess. Okay, that's it. All right, well that's done. And now we're just going to fight with, putting the lid back on the case there. Sure. Lower this in here and try not to drop it. And get our giant gorilla hand stuck in here. There we go. We're going to tighten this by hand this way for now. Okay. So you would think this would fit nice and easy this way, but it doesn't. Let you get so far and then it just does not want to bite anymore. So we're going to tap it back into there. That hurt my hand because, I hit my hand about 37.8 times. Okay. Now can we tighten it without it popping off? Yep. Okay. Now can we get this back out? Got it. I even caught the wrench. Well, that's the front drive done. Let's do the transmission and then we'll look over everything and then I may have figured out a way to do the oil filter with it still sitting on this. So, just give us a minute is what I'm saying. Well, if you recall, the owner's manual said that you just need to check, inspect on the transmission fluid, but I also said we're going to go ahead and just change on it. So in order to do that, you have to drain it, and this is the drain plug, and you know that because it says the word drain right here. And let's have a raffle or a contest on what size we think that is. Let's I don't think it's a 6. And in the front, I thought it was a 7 and an 8, and it turned out just to be an 8. So let's just try the 8 to begin with. Bingo. It's an 8. No, there's no prizes for that. Okay. Oh, that was not tight. Okay. I'm just going to take this off. Let that drain. Have a look at the drain plug. You see it's got some shavings, but not bad. We're going to go ahead and clean that. Oh, joy of joys. It just ran all over the frame. That's fantastic. All right, this looks like it's about done. So we're going to go ahead and reinstall the plug. And we're going to have to clean up the mess that it is, made. what a mess. Oh, I just blew a lot of vegetation out the other side. That's neat. Well, now that I've swept up half the Mojave Desert from my shop floor here, let's go ahead and fill the transmission back up. Here you can see the fill plug right there. And we're just going to go ahead and fill it. I'm going to move this back a minute. There we go. And we'll fill it, and it says it takes a quart or until it comes back out. So we'll move the drain plug. We really don't want it coming back out, but it's not really in our control, is it? Great. Spilled it right on the floor like a genius. This stuff is purple. And it's going all over the floor. And now it's coming out of the transmission. Great. They should tell you when you go to fill these, do it real slow like. Otherwise, it will go everywhere and it looks like we're full. Yep. Now, where's the plug? Perfect. There we go. Well, I was telling y'all the stuff is purple. I wasn't kidding. Check this out. Look at that. This stuff is purple. So like I was saying, we found a way to get the oil filter in there, and I'm a little afraid to show you what we've done, so I'm just going to not show you what we did because, you know, OSHA wouldn't like it, I'm sure. Okay. Yeah. Well, the factory apparently put all the torques on that too. Groovy. Look, I know there's other videos out there of people doing this. Some of them make it look really easy, and I'm sure it is. But, you know, I've got big hands and big arms, and let me tell you, Polaris just apparently likes to over tighten everything and then tell you not to. Oh, it budged. Did you see that? All I'm going to get is just the one little budge. Yeah, this is way too tight. There we go. It's coming now. All right. At the base of the oil filter, they've got like a little spout there. So when you crack this loose, the oil that comes out will hopefully just drain right through the hole. And it looks like it's doing the thing. Okay, let's tip it up. And then we're going to give it an inspection, make sure the gasket came off, and it did. We're going to put a little bead of new oil on the new filter gasket, and then we'll just install the new filter. Here we go. These Tusk filters, they have a a thing that resembles the top of a bolt head, kind of welded on the top. I'm not sure if you can see that on there. Don't be fooled by that. That seems like a good idea, but I'll be honest, I've never had terribly good luck with those. K&N car filters do the same thing, and I think even their power sports filters do it. And again, I've just never had great luck with it. Put them on hand tight, and you go to take them off and end up just stripping this thing off and getting mad. And it's in the way if you try to put a wrench on the end of the filter, so you end up using like a rubber strap wrench or something. Well, I mentioned before, using these things, funnels. Shall we try it? Sure. Never done it before. Let's give it a whirl. Okay. Let's crack it open. Oh. Well, I don't know if it was supposed to come apart like that. I'm guessing not. Well, I don't think we're going to try that. Let's just get a funnel. Sure. There we go. Funnel. Perfect. Now this is the PS4 5-weight 50. On some of the other older machines, I've just gone ahead and used some Castrol synthetic 550. Quite honestly, that's all the owner's manual on these says, is make sure if it's not PS4 that it's, synthetic 5-weight 50. Let's go ahead and put this in. And this will take all of 2 quarts, but you do have to kind of go a little slow. Oh, yeah, it just tried to come back at me. No, stay in there. Stay. All right, that's 1 quart. Yeah. Go ahead and clean off our dippy stick. Ooh. Retrieve the funnel. And let's put our dippy stick back in. And then we'll give it a reading. Now, we haven't run it yet, but we'll still give it a reading anyway. And that shows slightly over, but it hasn't pressurized and filled the filter. So, well, we've got the service done. We've changed the fluids and the filter. Let's just go ahead and go around the machine and do a general inspection, and then we'll get into that, clutch cover and see what that's all about. So let's just start on the front end here. So part of the service is checking the brakes, and the brakes they look just fine. Plenty of brake pad there. I'm going to check the CV joints, so we're just going to roll this around, make sure we don't have any splits. Nope, that looks good. Have a look at the suspension bolts. Those look good. Yep. Make sure there's nothing wonky or loose. Let's grab the steering. Oh, the steering doesn't want to. That's because it's power. Let's make sure there's no clunking in there. Oh, that looks good. We're just going to give this a shake. That seems fine. Let's scoot on over to the back here. Check the shock mounting bolts. Yep. None of those are backing out. I'm going to check the hub carrier bolts now. If you remember, on the 500, we've had these shear off. And this is the same design. So, we're just looking to make sure that they're still there. And there's the one in the back. A-arm bolt looks good. Now, this is a different design, from the older machine. The older one had a bar that went, from the front to the back, all the way across. So if you lost the bolt off one end, the bar backed out, and you end up twisting A-arms, which we've done, and that's in that video. But this is separate. You've got a different mounting point. Maybe that's better. These are sealed. Polaris is very proud of the fact that they've done sealed bearings in here, or sealed bushings, so you can't grease those. So we'll see how that does. Let's check the CV joints. I've got it in park, so I can't really roll it, but these joints, they look fine. All right, let's scoot around to the other side. What am I stuck on now? Oh, I just rolled over a towel. Hold on. Anyway, as I was saying, come around to the other side. We're going to check all the same things. Make sure that it doesn't appear that any bolts are backing out or nuts are coming off. Everything is looking good. See, mounting point there. Well, this one's way up here, but I can feel it. That's nice. Hub carrier bolt looks fine here. Looks fine there. And, back up to the front. Again, everything feels good and tight. That bolt looks fine. That looks fine. No wiggles. I'd say pretty good. Now let's see what it's going to take to get this clutch cover off. It looks, obviously the footwell here, it's going to have to come off, which body clip, bolt, and there's probably 4 bolts here. Yep. And then that'll come off, and then it looks like we'll just have to detach from there. All right, well, let's just, I don't know, get into it. There we go. Well, there you have it. There's the clutch. It's dirty. Yeah, well, I mean, you've got dusty air coming in here, and then it's blowing back out, the back over here. But looks like you need to change the belt. You got to take this cover off too, but nothing exciting there. It's just a little dirty. I guess we'll just go ahead and put her back together. Sure. Okay, well, that's back together. Let's go ahead and, well, we still have the side panels off. Let's give her a start and make sure we don't have any leaks. Sure. Well, we're just going to put her back together. You know, we've checked the oil after running her and it's full. We're good. Let's go ahead and put it back together. I'll put the wheels and the plastics and all those things back on, and then we'll be done, and then we'll do the other one. Oh, yep. Yep. Oh, easy. These are some shiny lug nuts here. Okay. Yeah. I said it before. Don't worry. This is the little, the little impact. This is not going to over torque them. And as usual, we'll go back and properly torque 30 foot-pounds. Oh, shoot. Okay. Well, that's a problem. Okay. Back up you go. I suppose this is another reason why you leave it on the ground. Sure. Okay. Let's let's put it on the ground before it, decides to go there on its own. Uh-oh. Yeah, I wasn't scared. Nope. Let's just put the seat on and call it done. I guess we need to figure out how to reset the little computer here. Well, now that we're all done with this one, we're going to go ahead and reset the clock on it for the next service interval. All right, to do that, it says turn the key on. Okay, getting all the glare. There we go. It says hold down the mode. Go to options. And then we go to service hour. And you see it's set currently at 25. So now we push mode. And now we're going to make it 50. That is the next recommended service. Now, luckily, that service is just inspect, check levels. We're not changing anything. So that's it. And then, whoops, that's it. Okay, we should be able to hold this and come out of it. And turn her off. Now we turn it back on, we should no longer have the service wrenching thingy telling us it's time to do a thing. And there we go. It's not there anymore. Perfect. Well, now that we've finished the gray one here, the premium, we're going to go ahead and reset the garage a little bit and get into the trail, the black one behind me. Not going to film it because, well, you've just seen me do this, and probably I've had to edit out a few curse words and name calling and things like that, but that's okay. So we're going to go ahead and do that. If there is something worth noting on the other one, I'll show it to you. Otherwise, we'll see you in a little bit. Well, we finished, the black one, the trail. No surprises, went exactly the same way as the gray one did. Maybe a little quicker, but still, just as much of a mess on the floor and the arms and the legs and the face. But that's going to do it. As usual, thanks for watching. Give us a subscribe, maybe a like, comment. All those things really help. Anyway, we'll see you next time. Ride safe. Oh, man, I don't want to clean this up. Maybe if I just leave it, nobody will notice. Sure.